So here I am in the suburbs of Panama City. I just saw a video about how important identity is, and I actually was about to have a sales call with one prospect. By the way, I what I do is that I help coaches double their revenue with half the team, or well, not half actually. It is too stupid of an offer, and we're tired of that. It's helping you double the revenue you have with the same headcount by creating and enforcing culture. And the sales call I had, the sales conversation I had, was a follow up call in which I had already said the price, and they said, after I handled some objections, but I realized actually that I don't want to objection handle anymore. What I actually want to do is to show there is a different standard you can be playing at, and then to either make them aware that they want to play at that standard, or show them that's okay to stay in the same place they are already at. So that was my official last time of objection handling officially. But after that, one of the two people that was in there told me, hey, we really need to talk things through with my partner. And I said, that's okay. The only thing I need is from you is the confirmation that you will actually show up to the call. And you know what happened? One of the two people told me in my face that they were business owners, that they of course respect people's time. And what happened? Well, they didn't show up to the call. And what I want to speak about today is actually how relevant standards are. Are these standards actually being enforced? So you say you want more money, you say you want scale, but you can't hold your own standards, not even your own worth as an entrepreneur. And that's what I want to speak about today. Like, is it really sometimes a cultural problem within an organization, let's say with your setter, with your closer, with your client success manager? Or is it that even the standards that are before your cultural setting within your organization are actually lower than they should be? I don't want to add something to that, because actually when I was coming to Panama City, I realized that I wasn't being the truest or my truest version. And one side of that is that I am actually not a talkative person. And somehow I started speaking more than I should. But deep down, what I have always loved has been to say fewer words and be punchy with them. Take pauses. And that's what I'm doing now, essentially. Maybe these videos are too slow for you, for your dopamine brain, but if you're a founder that actually care about structure, I don't say coaching business, I say organizations. And the reason why I do that is because I don't believe in treating your business as a hobby, as a side job, as a lifestyle business. I believe to treat your business with the conviction that is your life's purpose. And that there is no separation between your life and your job. And then if that's true, what will happen is you are actually yourself as an entrepreneur will form the way your business operates. So if there is chaos in your standards, then there will be chaos in your organization. And I've noticed that. Back on my previous offer, in which I coached doctors on how to pass an exam, I actually left because I felt a misalignment with it. Back then, there were times in which my mindset was in the right place and I was able to achieve incredible results, like 35% close rate with 5 closers and myself taking calls. So 6 closers in total. And things went well. But then, if my state of mind was not in the right spot, then business will suffer. Not because I lacked skill, but because I wasn't taking action with things. And of course, as I said before, I don't care if you feel this video is too long and I take too much time to say things. But what I do care about is that you take into consideration my message. My message is your business is a reflection of yourself and your standards as an entrepreneur. And this standards thing has been going on for me for a lot of time now. And I'm actually here in Panama City, like in the suburbs around. There's nothing around. I just have on one side of my apartment this jungle, and I can see the other side, which is the ocean. But on other video, if I shoot from the pool, I can show you. But I used to say some things weren't necessary, but sometimes when you adjust your perception of yourself and you take action on things, then reality has to adjust with it. It's not a tangible thing. I'm not a 100%, let's say, inputs outputs person, but I do believe as humans we're too what's the word? Let me think. We're too little in comparison to the universe as to control every single output. I don't believe in a particular faith, but I do believe in what Napoleon Hill talks about, the source of infinite intelligence, whatever it is. And one thing that definitely impacts your behavior is your environment. And if you research science around it, you'll see, if you see How People Learn by David Lieberman, if I'm not mistaken, he says there are 2 aspects that impact the most human behavior, genetics, and the environment. So if you go to a different environment and then operate from that environment, your results, your outputs will match and your standards will change. Before I was eating at a place that was, let's say, cheap. It was like, let me think, it was like, would be around 4 US per meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Colombia, which was pretty cheap, and the food was actually pretty good, like really good. But reality had to change because I changed, because my standards changed. Just for context, I was in Dubai living, and when I was there, even though I was making 65K per month, some months 60, 50, like I hit 50K plus maybe like 8 or 9 times. But in Latin America, with a 1K ticket, with more than 40 clients on average onboarding every single month, and with huge positive word of mouth and huge testimonials. But I wasn't feeling successful. And even though externally success was actually noticeable, I wasn't feeling successful. Now I feel more successful, which is only a reflection of my own standards. And when I came here to Colombia, well, when I went back to Colombia before coming here, I did it because I had to meet my clients. I wanted to meet my clients before their exams. And after I did that, I started feeling misaligned with my avatar. If I told them in the face they needed to change, they would get defensive, emotional, and blame me instead of doing things to change their life. Of course, I've learned that sometimes you have to know how to say things, but in general, I was feeling that my avatar was too emotional and less rational. And I think it's important that there is a mixture of both, but rationality has to reign with emotionality. So I literally, what I did was I left that offer. I'm still delivering to clients because I don't want to compromise my worth. I'm not like the guy that didn't show up, like the 2 people that showed up that didn't show up for the sales call. I actually respect my worth. But now, doing this offer, I'm actually feeling more of myself, and one of my mentors, who is Austin Medlin from closesales.com, he told me, "You're having more fun doing this, right?" And I'm like, "I'm having a great time, dude." So I'm happy for that. And also, the structure of my business right now reflects who I am as an entrepreneur. and also reflects my deepest passions. I'm more of an analytical person, and I like to think through stuff. My mission is to change education, and actually, coaching businesses are education companies. And essentially, what I want to solve, because I think nobody's solving this because they just care about Stripe screenshots and stuff, is creating a real culture within organizations. A culture that makes your setter, for example, book more calls every single week. My setter, there was weeks in which he would book 100 calls, and it was only himself and an assistant that would start the conversations. So we were booking a lot more calls than people with maybe 3 setters. And the reason why was because of our own internal standards. So, yeah. And just for context about what I believe in, there is a plane. You can see that from the video, but I see them like the far away with the window. And each plane for me represents that I'm already moving to the next level. And of course, this doesn't make logical sense, but even though it doesn't make logical sense, it pays attention to my, I wouldn't say emotions, these are not actually emotions, but intuition, infinite intelligence, let's call it that. But you gotta be doing the inputs, make them take care of maybe, let's say, 70%, and then the other 30% will come with some other things. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say in this video. If you stick to this long, you can message me the word if you're ready only. If you want to hold your own standard, message me the word league on Instagram, and I'll invite you to the Backend Premier League, which is the first performance-based environment within coaching companies. My goal is to create a business built on culture, built on standards that improve performance, and that is actually like the MBA of coaching, in which you'll have your talent, your internal talent ranked, and you'll have access to ranked talent in case you need it, based off of your standards. So if that interests you, message me the word league on Instagram. My Instagram is on the description at the Juan Otalora. And we're going to have a sales conversation if you are interested and if you're ready to raise your own standards. If you watched up until the end of this video, it means you're not a dopamine coach, which are coaches only focused on Stripe screenshots. And that's a good thing, right? Probably you're ready for the league, but what I can tell you is I will be really, really careful with who I am enrolling, essentially because every single client has to be a reflection of my own standards too. and to the standards that I want the league to have in order to work. So yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know any question in case you have, and which things you would like me to cover in future videos. See you later.